Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my February reading wrap up and not great. Here's the thing. February has not been a good reading month. January was not, I have not had good reading months recently. However, something is about to happen in my life in the next couple weeks that will give me more time to read. So March should be a slightly better reading month, and then April and then the next like several months after that should be like incredible reading months for me. So bear with me. Stand strong with me. We're gonna get there. But I do think that part of the reason why this month was not a great reading month, first of all, it's February, so it's shorter than every other month. Not by much, but like it always feels like February is like a whole week shorter than every month. I don't know why. It's like 2 days shorter. So I don't know. But the first book that I read this month, I feel like really just brought me down. It really put me in a little bit of a slump for the reading. And that book was Onyx Storm. I read Onyx Storm. I finished it at the beginning of the month. If you're unaware for some reason, Onyx Storm is the third book in the Empyrean series. Is that what it is? Something like that. The Fourth Wing series. I was not planning on reading this book. I wasn't, because the first one was like, I gave the first one 2.5 stars. So that's like right smack in the middle of the rating system, 5-star rating system. I understand why people like Fourth Wing. Personally, I don't understand why they like it as much as they do, but it was a silly, goofy time. I liked the concept. I don't think the execution was good in any way, shape, or form, but I do like the dragons. The dragons are the one and only saving grace of this series for me personally. And I truly don't understand. Like, I am fully convinced. I have a full-on conspiracy theory about this series that the dragons, the part of the dragons, was just written by a fully different person. It was not written by Rebecca Yarros, because there's no way that the dragons are written as, like, well as they are, which is still, like, there's room for improvement, right? But there's no way that the dragons are written as well as they are, and then, like, the rest of the book is just like several notches below that. I just don't see how that's possible. Maybe she should write a series where there's no people at all and it's just dragons. That could be interesting. I would read that if she did that. Like an adult version of Wings of Fire. I might be onto something here, Rebecca Yarros. Just write dragons, please. But the first book, like, I didn't like it, but it was okay. I didn't, like, hate read it. The second book I hate read. I hate read that book. And I was, like, constantly sending my husband voice memos, like, complaining about the book as I read it. It's, like, one of those situations where, like, the actual reading of the book was not fun for me, but the bitching about the book was fun for me. You know what I mean? This third book was I struggled. Like, I read the second book pretty quickly. Just because it was like, because reasons. This one I feel like took me much longer to read. It's a 1-star. It's a 1-star read. Somehow the writing keeps getting worse, like progressively worse with each book. The first 7 to 10 chapters of this book I don't think they were edited at all. There was just, it was name dump after name dump after name dump, and like lists of names that like you didn't need to know this, and it just overcomplicated things. And then the writing was really kind of like obscure in a lot of areas. And it read, the first like chunk of the book read as though she was setting it up for a show. It was as if she knew that this book was going to be made into a show, and she wrote it as such. And I don't think that that was an effective choice. But if you're a big fan, maybe that's good news to you. I don't know. I don't know if a show or a movie or anything has been confirmed. I think there's been like talks, but I don't know if it's been confirmed. Anywho, Onyx Storm was a big old flop for me, and it also made me realize that there are massive plot holes in this story. And it doesn't, the entire magic system, I'm not going to break it down or go into detail right now, but the entire magic system falls apart. It doesn't make any sense. And like, you could say, oh, well, it's fantasy, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, I get that. But the magic system still needs to have like a thread of logic that like holds it together. You know what I mean? And the magic system is the plot. It is the plot, and there's a huge, massive hole in it. There's no, the thread that's supposed to be holding it together, it's snipped. So, I mean, I would say it's a disappointment, but like, I knew I wasn't going to like it when I read it, and the only reason I read it, I'm sorry that the beginning of this video is just me complaining about this book, but the only reason I read it is because my husband accidentally bought it on Kindle. I don't really know how that happened, but he says it was an accident. I don't know, but I read it because we had it. So anyway, let me get into the book that I read this month that I actually enjoyed. Now, to be fair, I'm not done with it. I am about 75% of the way through Assistant to the Villain, and this is like thoroughly enjoyable. I am really enjoying this. I would say the first handful of chapters were not bad, but I had to like kind of make myself stick with it a bit because it took a little bit of time to like really start getting into like the banter and just like the funny quips. And this book is really funny. It's really funny. It's really enjoyable. It's cute, but it's like, it's so interesting. I haven't read a lot of like cutesy fun fantasies, but this is a fantasy that is like serious. There are serious topics, and it's gruesome. It doesn't really go into like gruesome detail, but it does talk about like heads on spikes and bodies hanging from rafters, because like the villain is a true villain. Like, he is going around killing people. But then you have the main character, Evie, and she is just like a silly, goofy time working for like this real serious murder man. And this, depending on the ending, this book has potential to be 5 stars for me. Like I said, I'm only 75% of the way through. I still have, you know, a decent chunk left, but depending on the ending of this book, it's a potential 5 stars. Right now it's teetering between a 4 and 5 star. So it'll really depend on the end. But I think I'm already at the point where like, no matter what the end is, I'm going to read the second book. Just because if it's going to have banter like this in it, I just know I'll enjoy it, even if I'm disappointed by the outcome, which is unusual for me. But yeah, so technically I'm not done with this. So technically I only read 1 book this month, which means that when I pull for my March TBR, I will have to do 6 rolls. I am going to do my March TBR a little bit differently. And I will explain that in that video, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently for March. Excuse me. So yeah, I guess I'll just go through real quick the books that I didn't read at all, just to recap. Legends and Lattes. Oh no, I think I have the hiccups. Uh-oh. The Viscount Who Loved Me. The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. The Games Gods Play, Nevernight, Dirty Lying Fairies, and Divine Rivals. So yeah, this video is probably not like super exciting because I don't have, I didn't read very much, but March should be a different story. And like I said, I'm changing up the way that I'm doing my TBR, like pulling my March TBR. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm hoping that that will add another element that'll also make it easier for me to get through more books. So if you're interested in knowing how I'm going to do that, you can, stay tuned for the next video. But that's going to be it for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know. If you guys are still here after my rant about Onyx Storm, thank you. Also, I feel like I complain about that series a lot because I have a lot to complain about. But if you really love that series, like, I really hope you don't take my dislike for the series as like a critique on your taste or anything. It's not. I have seen a lot of people who really love that series get extremely defensive about it. So I just want to make sure you guys know, like, I'm not like hating on you personally if you like it. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.